I've taken a flight from Cairns down to Adelaide, and boy, what a change. It's really comfortable weather here. It's not that hot, humid, sticky weather up there in Adelaide, up there in Cairns. So I'm guessing like 24 degrees or something here, so it's just beautiful. I am in, I think it's Queen Victoria Square. I'll check that. Behind me is the Supreme Court of South Australia. I've been to Adelaide before, but I haven't explored in the city at all. I don't plan to do much exploring today. I'm just popping in to take a quick look around. I'm going to head to Glenelg on the coast and probably go up into the ranges a little bit, and then I'm going to head south about an hour and a half's drive to the Florio Peninsula. Arrived in Adelaide Airport without any plan, and so I've been a little bit sort of scattered and figuring things out. Anyway, after Glenelg, I've made my way up Mount Lofty, which is about 25-30 minutes from central Adelaide. Just doing a short little walk. View from Mount Lofty was a bit hazy and you couldn't actually see much of Adelaide without squinting a bit, but I'm just going to go for a bit of a wander and then head back to the car. Camped out by the roadside last night in a little area of the bush of the Adelaide Hills. I was just by a dirt road. There was only one passing car in the night, which was probably about 9 PM. So no issues there. Looks like it's going to be a nice little sunrise somewhere behind me soon. And anyway, I'm going to make my way down to the coast again. If I can. It's reasonably cool morning. It's not freezing, but let's guess 16 degrees or something like that. I don't know if I'll have the balls to go for a swim in the ocean, but it'd be good if I can work my motivation to do that. So I'm directing my GPS to a place called Sugarloaf, some kind of geological formation down by the coast. Gonna go check that out and then go get something to eat as well. Arrived in Hallett Cove, and I'm going to go for a walk from here to find the Sugarloaf. So yeah, first time for me to properly explore South Australia. Before I've driven from Brisbane to Adelaide, but I didn't spend any time here and it was just relatively brief time in this area. So yeah, it's relatively unfamiliar to me, and it's a little bit like Southern California, kind of desert-like terrain meets the sea. So anyway, I'll have to figure out if that's an accurate assessment as I explore further today. Yeah, I'm going to start off with that walk to the Sugarloaf. And anyway, here's some bird life to start the day as well. These are, of course, all galahs. There's two varieties as far as I can tell here, the pink and grey ones. That's what usually we're talking about when you say galah, and the corals, that's the white galah. They've got like a blue and pink around the eyes, but they're otherwise white. I'm at a community called Aldinga Beach, and I think it's named after this beach right here. So I'm going to head down there, going to go for a swim and then continue further along. It's about an hour from here to Rapid Bay, so should be there early this afternoon. This morning I've come to a spot called Waitpinga Beach. That's probably a pretty poorly pronounced version of the Aboriginal word, the local Aboriginal word for windy place. So still on the Florio Peninsula, it's just part of a little conservation area. Oh, getting windy now. A little conservation area called Newland Head. Newland Head is up there or around the corner somewhere. Beautiful beach. So you got clear water, a lot more waves than there were on the other side of the peninsula. I'm not going to swim at this particular spot, but yeah, beautiful. I mean, the sand colour, the water colour, the vegetation around here, it's pretty awesome. I'm on a barge now, I think crossing a little bit of the Murray River. 34 degrees now, it's up to 35 before, according to the car. So a real scorcher outside, around 2:30 in the afternoon now. So having just taken the barge across the Murray River, there's actually a pretty good botanic garden here. It's all Australian native plants. So I've just taken a short little wander out around here. Like I said, it's 33, 34 degrees, but gosh, so much more comfortable than what it was up in Cairns. It's so dry here, I feel like this is basically pretty nice. Kind of the warm embrace of the South Australian summer, or I suppose it's autumn already. I'm now in Corryong National Park, which is basically a national park that runs alongside the coast. So there's a narrow island over there that basically I think never is more than, well, I'm guessing here 100 meters wide or something like that. And in between here and there is this basically some brackish, I believe brackish water. It's definitely salty to some degree. It's either entirely seawater or brackish. Well, there's a fair few bloody flies around here. And it just runs for hundreds of kilometers along the coast. Yeah, I'm at a spot called Jack's Point. Apparently it's a place to view pelicans. I saw pelicans back in the previous town, whatever that was called. It started with an M. Oh, flies. I haven't seen any here yet, but maybe I've got to get to the actual viewpoint. Nice spot though, apart from all the bloody flies. So I spent the night here at Will's Beach Camp, which is on the coast of South Australia. It's kind of approaching Victoria. No, I'm still hundreds of kilometres away now that I think of it. I've come out to the beach and it's definitely quite a nice morning. It is just the open beach. It's not sheltered by that island of Corryong National Park anymore. There's a giant rainbow. I think it's probably too big for the camera, but I'll give it a shot. Oh, there's still flies this morning. I'm just out of the town of Beachport now, and there's a few nice beaches around here. It's a beautiful drive actually. The road's just kind of winding along a coast, short little drive out of town. So over there I believe is a little spot called Salmon Hole. Made it to Mount Gambier, and behind me is the Umpherston Sinkhole. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm not really sure. And that is down there. It's all been developed as a garden. I'm gonna wander down and check it out. Just driving through a plantation, a forestry plantation. I just saw some emus. I don't think I've ever seen emus in the wild before. I don't know if you can call it wild when it's in a plantation, but they're not tame anyway. So that was pretty cool. Camped out last night in a little campground, little free spot next to the Glenelg River, which is behind me now. From here I am right at the very border of South Australia and Victoria. So this particular moment I'm standing in South Australia, but yeah, the border's close by. The border isn't the river, it's a straight line, but it's around here somewhere. Cool little shelters along the river here. I suppose they got set up before the conservation area did. So yeah, there's a bunch of them along the river. I'm in Western Victoria now. I'm just outside the small city of Portland, which is mostly an industrious sort of place. There's a lot of logging, those forestry plantations nearby, and bit of that kind of thing. Anyway, there's also some beautiful scenery which I have to myself at the moment. I don't think too many people come here. So we are on a bit of ocean, but not on the Great Ocean Road. So I guess that's where everyone is at the moment. Beautiful cliffs behind me, clear ocean as usual. There's some big wind turbines here as well. You kind of got to get up close to see just the sheer scale of them. So you can hear a bit of wind noise coming from them. I'm not sure if that'll come through. Just around the corner now at Cape Nelson Lighthouse, which is obviously right behind me. So we're at the cliff's edge here. Again, kind of like the Great Ocean Road, but with far fewer people. Now just a little way short of Port Fairy, pardon me. I think I'm a few kilometers just west of there. Stopped by a little spot called the Crags, and here they are. I'm currently at Port Fairy, which is roughly speaking at the western end of the Great Ocean Road. I just witnessed a seal devour a fish just swimming around. I think it was a pup, or maybe a youth, teenage kind of seal. So that was pretty cool. From here I'm going to go to Warrnambool, and that's the next stop, and not too far from where I'll camp for tonight, I think. Just on my way to tonight's camping spot, sort of nearby to Warrnambool, about half an hour's drive from there. Anyway, just a beautiful sunset behind me, which I thought I'd catch on camera before going through to the campsite. Bit of a rainy one this morning, but it's holding up for now. I've arrived at the Bay of Islands, which is the westernmost of the key stops along the Great Ocean Road. I'm not sure how far I'll make it today. Should make it at least halfway to Apollo Bay and maybe a little bit further. Very maritime kind of weather today. The rain just pours down, well, very windy as well, and then it suddenly stops. So you got to do the walk while it's dry, as it is now, and then scoot back quickly before it starts raining again. That's London Bridge, which has gone. I'm in a little area called Princetown, which is near the 12 Apostles. 12 Apostles closed today, unfortunately, for the COVID-19. They're just trying, it's too crowded if they leave it open apparently, so they just want to keep it closed as a safety measure. Anyway, come to Princetown, I'm just going to stop here and have something to eat. Pretty good view, nice little spot, but a bit flooded at the moment. I'm now in Melba's Gully State Park, which is somewhere roughly between Apollo Bay and the 12 Apostles, and I'm just doing a walk here. It's supposed to be about 35 minutes long, going through the rainforest. Sign said either it's one of the wettest places in Victoria or in Australia, I'm not sure. It'd be a bit surprising to me if it were wetter than parts of North Queensland. Bit of drizzle now, but not too sodden, so it's just kind of perfect for having the right kind of experience for a place like this. A little bit closer to Apollo Bay now, so I just stopped by a lookout, actually about 30 k's from Apollo Bay. I've come off the eastern edge of the Great Ocean Road, and so now I'm at Bells Beach. Just a quick stop here. It's one of the big, better known surf breaks in Australia. So I'm gonna just have a bit of a sticky beak and then head through to Torquay. So yesterday I made my way up from Geelong and Melbourne up towards Albury, which is about 4 hours drive pretty much across the flat terrain of Victoria. So last night I stayed near the little town of Bethanga and just camped the night there. This morning I'm making my way up to Snowy Mountains Highway. I think it's around 7:30 or something like that, maybe 8 o'clock. Sun's coming up and pretty nice rural scenery around here. I've passed through Tumut and I'm now on the route going through Kosciuszko National Park. So ascended quite a bit. I'm not sure how high up I'd be here, but my guess, definitely a guess, is say 1200 meters or something like that. So certainly getting up there by Australian standards. Just at a viewpoint here, and we are very much in the midst of an area that was burnt out in the bushfire a month or two ago. So I'll film a bit of that. You can definitely tell that right to the top of the trees it's all very blackened, but then again it's all growing back as well. So there's a lot of greenery on the trees, which you'll be able to see. Just crossed over the Great Dividing Range, so this is the high point on this northern section of the route. 1490 meters up here. Still very burnt out around here. I've seen odd little patches where, you know, the forest hasn't been burnt out, but in general most of this place got pretty badly roasted. So I don't know if I'll see much at all on the way down to Cooma which hasn't been burnt out. I mean, it's mostly pretty dense forest all the way through, and so I think the firefighters were focused on places where people were living rather than here at National Park. So anyway, I'm going to continue on downhill from here toward the direction of Adamimbi and Cooma. I'm at Cayandro, which is basically just down the hill from Great Dividing Range back there, on the way toward Adelaide. Yeah, basically just a big meadow, grassland. Interestingly, it looks like it was all burnt out here, I think. It just went everywhere. So, I mean, there's trees just in the center there where, yeah, they've clearly been burnt out, and you can see there's a lot of grass that's grown back, but yeah, you can clearly tell that it's all been burnt out here as well. Just outside Adaminaby now. This is a little bit more like what the Kosciuszko area is normally like. Clearly the firefighting was able to stop the fire from ravaging this area, and yeah, you can see it's a lot different to what it is back up in the park. So last night I camped the night just nearby to Cooma, and this morning I've made the drive to Canberra just for a little detour on the way to Sydney. I am just at the top of Mount Ainslie now, so I won't go down to Parliament House and places like that. I've explored around here before. I'm gonna head for the coast. On the way from Canberra to Sydney, I've decided to detour off the main route, way off the main route actually, to Jervis Bay, which is just down the hill from where I am now. It's very sheltered water, super clear, and the sand is super white. So it's a pretty amazing little spot.